Hi and welcome to another gaming video. And in today's video I want to talk about the Microsoft Series S making the Microsoft Series X great. So you've got these two consoles and they are the same generation and they run the same games. One is less powerful than the other, but Microsoft insists that if a developer makes a game for the Series X, that it's also got to run on the Series S. And that seems a little odd to me. Why would you have this hugely powerful console like the Xbox Series X and then have a cheaper, more budget, lower spec console that you also then have to make games for? And developers are not allowed to make a game for the Series X that isn't available on the Series S. So they've always got to sort of cater for the lowest common denominator, i.e. the Series S. So if we just take a quick look at specs between the S and the X, the processors are pretty much the same. They run a 3.8 gigahertz processor or processors. The Series S has got 10 gig of RAM versus the 16 gig of RAM in the X. And the S is capable of 4 teraflops, whereas the X is capable of 12 teraflops. And if we're talking sort of display, the Series S is 1440. I think it's capable of up to 4K, whereas the Series X is capable of up to 8K. And going by the teraflops, that's a big difference. Going by the RAM, it's almost double. It's at least 70% more RAM in the Series X. And there have been a lot of developers that have complained about it, and they've said that they've struggled to get some games to run on the S. You've got things like Baldur's Gate 3, Dune Awakening, Black Myth Wukong. Either they've not come out on the consoles, or they've just had a very long delay where they've been on like the PS5. And developers are putting this down to the fact that Microsoft are restricting it. If a game runs on the Series X, it's also got to run on the Series S, even though the S is a lot less powerful. And it's a bit of an odd one. I don't understand why Microsoft would make this fantastically powerful Xbox Series X, which is competing with the latest from Sony, the PS5, and then bring out the budget version of the console with lower specs and make people cater for that. That's gonna hinder games on the X. Also, I thought, now I have had experience of both. I've played on an Xbox Series S and I've played on an Xbox Series X, and I've played the same games on both. And I do find that the Series S does struggle at times. I've played Minecraft and Teardown, two games I've played on both the Series S and the Series X. Teardown on the Series X runs as smooth as anything. And if you don't know what the game is, it's you just go around and destroy things, blow things up. The environments, your vehicles, everything is destructible via different methods. And it can get a little hectic, and you get a bit of stutter and a bit of what I've had where Teardown almost fails altogether on a Series S, but on the Series X it's absolutely fine. Minecraft is the same. I've had a few instances where we've had a very large world in Minecraft with a lot of buildings, and it just chugs a little bit on the Series S, but it's absolutely fine on the Series X. And those are two games that I wouldn't class as very heavy. There are a lot more graphically intense games on the Series X that I wouldn't want to see how they run on a Series S. But spin that round. If you have games that are capable for both devices, so if you're making a game that has to run smoothly on the Series S, then you're not going to have any issues when it runs on the Series X. So if you're a Series X owner, you know the games being developed for your system and the other system are going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, I've played on my son's Xbox Series X plenty of games: Fortnite, Mortal Kombat 1, Teardown, Minecraft, some FNAF games, Black Ops 6, and it's a phenomenal console. It doesn't have any issues with any of those games, plus the many that I can't remember that I've played on them. But when I have played some of these games on a Series S, you do notice that it's not the same experience. So if you're a Series X owner, then Microsoft making games for the Series S, or developers making games for the Series S, is a good thing, because you know it's going to run well on your console. I mean, that is a silver lining way of looking at it. It still strikes me odd that Microsoft will make this powerful console and then dull it down with a cheaper console that everything has to run on for both. So yeah, this video I'm really looking at a silver lining for the Series S, because I know there are quite a few fans out there. One of my followers loves his Series S, and if you're just a casual gamer who just plays regular games and not very often, then I can see the appeal of a Series S. But if you're a big gamer and you want the best experience you can get, then the Series X is it. And like I said, any game that runs well on the Series S is going to run fantastically on the Series X. So in some sort of ham-fisted way, the Series S is a good thing for the Series X. The other way around, not quite so, because they just have to make these games run somehow on the Series S, and I'm sure there are sort of minor differences between the two, other than sort of graphical and performance related issues. So to sum it up, if you've got a Series X, great, because anything that you've got will run on the Series S, and has to. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.